The third concept that we'll talk through says, the marsh really needs to be left alone. It needs its own series of restoration actions, and actually removing human access, removing that human presence, letting the marsh be, and to be able to adapt might be the best solution. And so we've tested what that looks like, and there's some really interesting outcomes. So let's just kind of map this trail because it does follow just a little different than what we know today. So back at under the 101, the trail would have an opportunity to follow parallel to the Shoreline Highway, and then right at the big curve, it would go straight with a new bridge over Coyote Creek, and then it would land along the kind of back behind Equator Coffee, back behind Hookfish, and within the Marsh Preserve property would create a new embankment, in which case the trail would follow. This provides some new interesting connections, perhaps to Hookfish or to Equator, and certainly up to the intersection of Shoreline Highway and Almonte. And I know that bicycle access on Shoreline Highway itself has long been a concern in the community. So some new community connections and interesting things here. We were also really wanting to maintain that marsh experience. And so you saw in that previous view in the elevated portions along Almonte, you're still hovering right out up and over the marsh, and you're still right out in that experience. So we really tried to maximize that really as much as possible. And then that old trail embankment is able to be restored. Let those be high marsh mounds. Let those be places for the critters to seek refuge during higher tides and future inundation. So that really actually becomes part of a potential restoration strategy. Coyote Creek in this scheme, we show it still heading straight, but we have greater hydrologic connections out between Richardson's Bay and South Bovine Marsh, where we would breach that existing embankment. So ecotone slopes would be proposed along the new alignment, and that definitely provides some interesting long-term adaptive opportunities as well. There's some precedent images of marsh mounds at high tide and at low tide, so you can start to see the insertion of some of those higher topographic features out within the marsh.